Here's how to buy some cheap government seized land, anywhere between 50, 60, 70, 80% below market value, so that you can get into real estate with an unconventional way of investing. The market these days is absolutely crazy. So if you want to make money in real estate, you don't want to be paying full price. And buying government seized land is a great way to get into real estate, start making money, because the barrier to entry is very, very low for you. Like, you can get some of these seized pieces of land for a couple $100 to a couple $1,000. You can build on them, you can flip them, you can harvest the timber. There's a lot of different ways to do it. So what's going to happen in this video today is we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive into a site that has some government seized land. Now, there are tons of these websites all over the internet as far as different government jurisdictions and how they auction off their land and get rid of it. So if you're wondering, how does this seized land end up at a government sale? Well, you ever watch one of those shows online like Narcos or something, or some, drug documentary, and you wonder to yourself when the government does the big bust, and you think man, whatever happened to that house, or whatever happened to that land? And it ends up in these land banks and at these land auctions. So what we're going to do in the video today is we're going to walk you through it step by step as an absolute beginner, and we're just going to go and put on our detective hat and do some discovery here. So we're going to go to the site, we're going to look at a couple lots just like you will as a beginner and a novice getting into this. And remember, the thing to keep in mind is this channel is dedicated to helping you get property 40, 50, 60, up to 90% below market value. We do that through tax liens, tax deeds, over-the-counter deeds, and now government seized land. So what you need to realize is, if you want property that's always laid out with beautiful, simple pictures, you have to go to Zillow and you have to pay full market value for the most part. So this channel is here and dedicated to the unconventional ways of getting property. Now, the amount of effort it takes to get these properties and the amount of money that can be made is absolutely astonishing. So when you look at this, you got to roll up your sleeves, you got to get into it. A little bit of time every single day can help you get some of these properties to maybe get out of your job or to become a successful investor. So we're going to jump over, we're going to join my business partner, Corey, and we're going to show you how to find some of these lands. These are properties that are available here today. Let's dive in. Without further ado, we are joined by the best dressed man in the Tax Lien Deeds game, wearing the flamingo bright shirt today with looks like some accents of watermelon and some pineapple here. This is the shirt. If you want to go pro, you got to dress like this.
That's right.
Corey, welcome to the show.
Woo, thank you.
Excellent. So Corey's going to lead us on a magical journey to find some of these properties, or find some land that's been seized by the government that can have some really amazing opportunity for you. So whether or not you want to flip land, whether or not you want to build on it, build a summer home, build a vacation place or a hotel, there's a lot of very cool opportunities with land, especially because it can be very low risk, since it can be done remotely and you don't have to worry about any structure issues. So Corey, let's lead the way. Let's look at some land that is available right now that could be great opportunities seized by Uncle Sam.
Yeah. So there are, as if you've watched any of the past videos, there are different websites around that have different stuff like this. To keep track of them all would be tricky, but what's cool is you can find these if you're looking for them. So this one's called govdeals.com, and there's all kinds of stuff here. You can see that we've got vehicles, we've got, I mean, I'm just getting sidetracked here. This is a seized archery bow, which is actually pretty crazy. Could have saved a lot of money if I bought mine here.
So one of the things that I was mentioning before is, when these properties get seized and you wonder, man, what happened to all the stuff in the house? Well, it ends up here.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have saved a lot of money if I bought my bow here. But now here we go. So you can look through all this obviously, but over here we've got real estate land parcels. And so what we can do is we can click that, and that pulls up a nice little chunk of properties here. Now there are actually some single family homes on here as well, but we've got a few things here. But what I'll do is I'll just dive into one of these here and show you guys kind of how you would do additional research on this using the GIS. But this is what it looks like. And so we've got, kind of, it's pretty vague, but it's got a price here, shows you what the bid increment is, where it's located. But then if you scroll all the way down to the bottom here, you can kind of get a bit of a description. And usually there is a parcel ID, which is what we're going to use to find out more about the property. But Dustin, I'll throw it back to you for a sec there.
Yeah, excellent. For anybody just tuning in, I'm Dustin Hahn. So my business partner, Corey Chase on. And this channel is here to help you get started in real estate in an unconventional way. So we focus on tax liens, we focus on tax deeds. We're expanding into some government seized properties. So at the end of the day, if you want to get started in real estate and you don't want to pay, an arm and a leg and a kidney, this is a great way to find property for 40 to 80 to 90% below market value. So if you like this stuff, hit the thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe if you like the channel. We do give away a free mini course in the description below called the ABCs of Tax Lien and Deed Investing. If you want to get started with this, just click on the description. But back to the show.
Nice. So we've got this here. It's good to take note when you're looking at this stuff, what state it's in. So we're looking in East St. Louis, Illinois here. And then a couple other things, taxes will be added once you pay up, once you kind of check out. And then there's also a 12% buyer's premium. So you just need to factor that into what you're paying for it. It's not something to be insanely scared of if you're getting a pretty deep discount. So that's just kind of, I think, to cover the cost of the sale. And it's how these guys make money. But so let's say we scroll all the way to the bottom and we got this parcel ID. Now what we can do is we can kind of copy this here, and we know it's St. Clair County. So open new tab in St. Clair County, Illinois. I'm going to put GIS in there. You could also put property search, but what it will do is it'll pull up the GIS for St. Clair County. Now, one thing I always do, and I mentioned this in I believe in last week's video or in one of the videos, you just got to make sure that you're on the right one, because I've spent 20 minutes searching for a parcel and realized I was in the wrong state. So now, of course, it's going to take its sweet, sweet time loading. Let's try this one. Let's see what we got here. Here we go. Okay. So one thing, you know you're kind of in the right spot if you get this sort of I agree to the terms and conditions. Most of them have that. Now, I am looking at this and I immediately know that it's not the right city, because it down here in the right-hand corner, it says Missouri Department of Conservation. So there's a St. Clair County in Missouri. So here's one here. Yeah, so I already noticed that this isn't the right one, because down here you can see, I don't know, it's pretty small on your screen probably, but Missouri, we don't want to be in Missouri. We want to be in Illinois. So we've got these two. I opened up these. It's usually the first two anyway. But I've opened up the first one. You can see there's like general information stuff here. There's this parcel map viewer, which is usually what the GIS is also called. But there's also this one, which I bet you $10 if I click that, it'll take you to that one. Maybe. I may have lost $10. I lost $10. It was close though. This one probably takes us to the same spot. Yeah. So you're kind of looking for a parcel map viewer. And then we can see these are the I think these are the same things. Yeah. So we can close those two. But we'll agree to the terms and conditions. You can see it's a very similar layout as the Missouri one. So you just always want to kind of check and make sure. If you're an Illinois native, then you know that this is like, if you're familiar with Illinois, you could probably recognize that this is Illinois. I'm not super familiar with it, but I'm going to trust that it is. So now we've got kind of the state of Illinois mapped out here. And then all we're going to do now is just come back and grab our parcel ID. And in theory, if we paste that in there, it should show us exactly what that is. No results. So this is a very common problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just double check. So there's like the 02, there's the dashes. So I'm going to pull out all the dashes first, see what that does. It's probably not going to work. I'm going to pull out this period as well. And that may have done it. So now one thing to always check here is just to make sure we're in the right spot. So we always recommend that. And then, so I'm going to zoom out here a little bit just so I can see what's going on. It should load the rest of it. There we go. And I just confused myself doing that. I'm going to go ahead and copy this again. But we're in.
As Corey's doing that, remember, part of this is you have to put on a little bit of a detective cap. And the nice thing about the internet is you can do a lot of this now from home, right? So we want to walk you through just kind of what that looks like. Once again, you know, a lot of these sites you saw Corey had to kind of modify the number. You have to play around with it a little bit, and that's great because the harder this is to do, the better it's going to be. Because one of our models is like the easier it is, the more competition and the more money. So you want it to be a little bit harder. And this is just a real world example of Corey kind of walking through the process with you here live.
Totally. Yeah. So I've actually confirmed that this is the right parcel. And I've done that by looking here. They have like this sort of map. You can see it's like a plot map. And we have North 61st Street here. Oops. We've got Audubon Ave there. And if I come over here to the GIS, I can see North. It's very small for you to see. I don't know if I can. Oh yeah, there it is. North 61st. And then if we scroll down, we've got Audubon Ave. So we're in the right spot. And then this is the whoa. And this will happen when you're in the GIS. You'll click around and it will be all funky. And then you just come up here and you just repaste that in and it will pull you right to it. So that being said, this is kind of in the middle. It could be, we'd have to probably, we would want to have a look at it. It's looks like there's houses around, but it looks like we've got almost like a double lot there. It's looks like it's 2021. It's kind of connected together, which is pretty cool, but it's a 50 by 130, 50 foot by 130 foot there. So yeah, that's a decent sized lot. And you could also, go ahead, Dustin.
I was going to say, so you can look at some of the houses for sale in the area, see what's going on, what are they selling for, and then that'll kind of give you an idea of like what is the potential of this lot. You can go and pull up like what the county is assessing the land at for some of the other properties as well to just kind of get an idea of where to bid and how much to bid.
Totally. Yeah, and so it also gives you like the address here, which we could put it into Zillow, but it probably wouldn't pull up too much, but we could see what's sold around. And you can see the owner, and you can also see they've kind of given you a bit of idea of what's around. It says here the taxes are 15 to 25 a year, which I can't be well, maybe it is dollars actually. That's pretty good taxes. You could pitch a tent on there and you could live there for pretty cheap.
Way to go, Airbnb it.
Airbnb, yeah, that's right. Yeah. And so there's another lot that's just down. Is that this? If you look at the images, it's like just down the street. So there's another one that's super close by. We can actually, well, since we're already there, we'll just pop this into the parcel viewer. We just got to take out all the dashes and the zeros, or the dashes and the periods.
So let's, in a minute, just click on one of these houses and do
Sure.
a little view because we want to get an idea of what's going on. And remember, this might not be your cup of tea, but if you're wanting to get huge discounts on real estate, this is really what part of the process looks like. You know, it's not quite as pretty as just shopping full market value on Zillow. However, what I can tell you is we've got some amazing deals up to 90% below market value. And people who watch this channel every day are scooping up deals, flipping them, getting into the game this way.
Yeah. So this is a good example. We'll look at this house right next door, but this could be an example of you buy this lot and this person could possibly sell this lot to this person right next door. But let's do a little detective work here. North 61st Street and Audubon Ave. So I've used this trick before. Go over to Google Maps. You type in, not now. We're just going to drop this into Google like this. Click on it. And you can see here that we actually pulled up North 61st Street and Audubon Ave. And so that is 1832 North 61st Street. That's sort of, if we were driving it, we would put that add that address in to get there, but we always want to make sure we cross-reference that with the parcel ID with using an app like Landglide. But we know that that house next to it was, we can also see this is 1802 North 61st Street. So we can actually drop that 1802. And there we go. So that's that one right there. And if we drop that into Zillow, we can kind of get a view of the area, see what it's worth. Now this might, I'm not 100% certain, but Illinois might be a non-disclosure state, so it might not show it, or it might just be that it's, kind of in the middle of nowhere. But what we can do is paste that in here and just kind of see
what's in the area for sale.
Yeah.
See a lot of really low price houses.
Yeah. So And this is still great. It's great to have an idea of what's going on around here. And, you know, in the last year, we can see what's sold. So not a lot has sold in this area. So if you're going to buy a property like this, you just need to go into it knowing that. And maybe you want to live there. Maybe you can find someone who buys property there. But this 1,500 square foot property sold for $65,000, which is
Wow.
so cheap. So I'm not an expert in this part of Illinois, like in St. Louis. It might be just a lower income area. It might just be I don't know enough about the area. I don't want to jump to assumptions on it, but it's just good to know that that's there, and yeah, you can kind of do with that information with what you please.
Nice. Good stuff. So we just kind of wanted to show you a little bit of the process of going through it. So remember, you're putting on your detective hat when you're doing this sort of stuff, and you got to go through it. You got to find, and you will find a gem, right? So it might be your first one as a home run. However, when you look at this business in comparison to, you know, how long it takes to become a doctor or a lawyer, in real estate, you know, there's a reason 90% of all millionaires made their money in real estate. It's because it works, right? So this is an alternative way for you to be finding properties. And now it's time for you to go explore. Go to these websites that are on the screen, go see what's there and just start to educate yourself on it. And then you can decide to pull the trigger. One of the nice things with Tax Liens and Deeds is we do have our national directory of tax deeds. So this is totally free in the description below. It is the contact information for all of the tax lien and deed counties. And if you want to buy some of these over-the-counter deeds, we have an on-demand training in the description below. Tax lien and deed investing 101, 100 tax lien and deed facts, get a deal in 30 days. These are all on-demand trainings, totally free. And if you want to learn more about tax liens and deeds, you can check that out, or you could click and book a call with us, and maybe we could work with you and build you a custom game plan and strategy. So thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe, make sure to tune in. We appreciate you checking out the information, and we'll see you on the next one.